Okay, is this thing actually recording now? I've already recorded this video before on my GoPro. I didn't want to use my webcam today because I wanted to try something different. I didn't want to record this out there because I'm busy doing other stuff, so I just wanted to get this video as quickly as I can, just sitting here at my desk with my bucket of coffee. Warning, I've already had one of these today because it's the first day back to school and I had to get my kids shoveled out the door, and that takes a lot of high octane energy, and this is my second bucket that I'm halfway through, so be prepared. This video is going to be very high energy. Anyway, so the point of this video is that recently the DC Multiverse action figures from McFarlane Toys were revealed, and it was to great excitement. Most people were very happy to see the images that we were shown of Nightwing, Batgirl, Batman Who Laughs, Superman. For the most part, there was a general feeling of positivity and stokedness about their release. And they're actually already starting to hit store shelves in the States at Walmart, which is amazing. I can't believe how fast they're coming out. McFarlane did say that these figures were going to start to hit store shelves in early 2020, and he wasn't kidding. The news came out like on the first day of 2020, and they're already hitting now, and we're what, 6 days in? That's crazy. He's already outdoing Mattel as far as getting his product on store shelves. Like I said, if his Fortnite figures are anything to be the example, he has released so many of them. The release dates have just been coming and coming and coming and coming. If you collect the Fortnite figures, you already have a pretty large, sizable army of Fortnite characters that you can pose in your action figure photography. And I really feel like he's doing the same thing with DC. For the most part, people have been very excited and accepting of these action figures. However, that's not to say that there are not people that have some contentious points about these figures as well. After I uploaded my video on the new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse figures, I did the thing that I do all the time. After I've done an action figure review and I release it, then I will tend to go and watch one or two other people's reviews just to see what they thought of the figure as well. And the same thing with news points. Sometimes I'll be like, well, what did they have to say on the topic? Did I miss something? Could I have done mine better possibly? But I don't watch them before because I don't want their opinions, viewpoints, anything that they've done to influence how I create my videos. It's only after the fact. And so I did that regarding DC Multiverse, and there are a lot of videos that have been made about it, and there are a lot of Instagram posts. And like I said, most people are excited. But that's not to say that there haven't been two major points of contention. Number one is that they don't have enough articulation points. That 22 points of articulation is not enough. Well, how many did you want? How many is enough? That would be my question to return. 22 points is a lot, and you can already see that these action figures have a butt-ton more articulation than the existing Multiverse figures ever did, and people didn't like the kind of articulation the Multiverse figures had either. They said, well, I'm sick of the ab crunch, I don't want the ab crunch, so now we have a ball joint in the chest, which is a swivel, obviously. It's going to be able to go around and do all kinds of bibbly-bobbly stuff, which is going to be at least double the articulation that the Multiverse had there. And then their waists, they're not a swivel, they're not a peg swivel like the Multiverse were, or like anything that Mattel did. They seem to be a ball joint in there, so they're already much better articulated. They got double jointed knees, toe articulation, butterfly hinges. How is this not enough articulation? I just don't understand it. There are people that I've come to call over the years articulation snobs. Those are the kind of people that you just can't please. There's no pleasing them. Doesn't matter how many points of articulation you put on a figure, they will always complain about it for some reason. I don't understand it. As someone that grew up in the 80s where 5 to 9 points of articulation was the gold standard, why people feel like you have to have like 47.5 points of articulation, I just don't understand it. I get posability is key, but these figures have more than Marvel Legends have for articulation. Like I said, I just chalk it up to there's people that you will just never impress. Listen, for $19.99, I think McFarlane has given us an exceptionally large amount of articulation, and really we should just be waiting and seeing until we get these figures in hand and do our reviews before we just begin to say these are garbage because they don't have enough articulation. And then the second complaint that I'm seeing pop up a lot is that fans seem to be upset that these McFarlane figures that are 7-inch in scale will not be able to fit seamlessly and posed alongside and mix and matched with the existing 6-inch Multiverse figures and DC Universe Classics. Listen, I get it. I'm someone that likes to mix and match sometimes too. It's really fun when you can take figures from this company and this company and this company and kind of mash them together and do something kind of fun. But in the same token, I really want to point out the facts here that McFarlane Toys, Todd McFarlane, his separate business entity, is not on the hook in any way, shape, or form to make sure that his products that he creates with his DC Comics license, he's not on the hook to make sure that they fit seamlessly alongside any other company's product. One separate business entity doesn't have to make sure that their products match with another separate business entity. Todd's trying to carve out his own path, do his own thing, and let's face it, in the world of business, he really does want to make as much money as he can off these. And so if, let's say he makes his figures so they match alongside the existing multiverse figures, and so he makes 12 figures. He makes Superman, Batman, Aquaman, Green Lantern. Let's say he makes 12 figures that fans have really been wanting. But because they're the same scale as the existing ones, maybe people go, you know, I'm okay with my Aquaman figure from DC Universe Classics, so I'm going to pass on the McFarlane Toys one. Essentially, he's losing money. It really is to his benefit as a businessman to just start his own thing, carve out his new path, make his own high-quality figures at the consumer market level, and just hope that people buy those together. That's what I'm going to do, and that's what a lot of us are going to do. We're not going to try and mix and match. And he is in no way, shape, or form on the hook to make sure that his products do match with another company's products. I can't stress that enough. And we've seen this mentality before with people that are upset with the DC collectibles that the icons won't match with the essentials. Of course they won't. They were trying to do something new. It would be nice if they match, but they're not on the hook to make sure they match. And we've seen it before with the fact that the essentials didn't match up with the multiverse. People were annoyed. It's like, no, give your head a shake. There's no reason why they have to make them match. You're supposed to buy all the new figures. They're not catering to the mix and match market. They're catering to the we want to make money market by getting you to buy as many of our figures as possible. And the only thing that, for example, DC Essentials is on the hook to do is to make sure that their figures are in scale with their figures. Icons, the only thing they were really on the hook to do was to make sure that icons were in scale with other icons. I realize they kind of failed at this with some figures. And the same could be said for the new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse, which is multiverse in name only, I want to really point out. They're only on the hook to make sure that their figures match with their figures, and that's it. Now, I do understand that McFarlane did in the past say, well, this would be about Marvel Legends scale, but in the end, maybe he said that and didn't know exactly what the finished scale was. Maybe he was just surmising before he'd made any product, or maybe he thought they were going, maybe he was unaware, really, of what Marvel Legends scale was. I don't know. I'm not him. I wasn't there, but in the end, I think to wish that they were in scale, I want to point this out, to wish that they could be in scale, I'm there with you, I totally agree, that's cool, but to then take it the next step and get annoyed with McFarlane for the decision for them to be 7-inch scale figures, I feel like that comes from a very deep-seated sense of entitlement, and I just don't understand it. As someone who's been a long-time collector, it really discourages me that there is a group of people that there's just no pleasing. They're articulation snobs. They're entitled that these companies should be doing exactly what they want them to do. And it just doesn't work like that. Yes, companies should be listening to some of what the consumers have to say, and they should be making products that the consumers want. But they also have to make sound business decisions for themselves to make the maximum amount of profit looking ahead into the future. Do we not think that they will end up making an Aquaman and a Wonder Woman and a Martian Manhunter in the comic accurate variety? Of course they will. There's no doubt that he will. He's going to have this license for a long time. So just buckle up, enjoy the ride, and buy what you want. And honestly, you don't have to buy these figures if you don't want to, but to get annoyed with him is going too far. I do want to point out that there actually is a silver lining, though. It's not all doom and gloom as far as being able to mix and match, and that's that because these figures are 7-inch, they'll be able to be posed alongside your 7-inch NECA and your 7-inch DC Essentials DC figures. So there's that. There is some mix and match ability. And let's face it, that Multiverse Damian Wayne Robin, actually both of them were just slightly too big. I've always thought that. When you pose him next to Batman, he looks bigger than his age. He probably should have been a smaller figure. So there is some mix and match ability there. I think we should just take it for what it is. Buckle up, enjoy the ride, and let's just see what McFarlane Toys has for us in the future, because I'm sure it's going to be a lot of awesome product. But anyway, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. I know a lot of you are going to be annoyed with me or take issue with some of the points that I've made in this video, but honestly, I really do feel like there are people in the action figure collecting community that suffer from a sense of entitlement, and they just act like babies when things don't go their way. And that's not okay. This is going to sound dumb coming from somebody that collects toys, but I think we all need to grow up a little bit. Anyway, bye for now. Thanks for watching, Super Friends, and I'll see you with the next one. Have a DC day, everybody, and take care.